Hello. So, we haven't talked about Gypsy Rose Blanchard, Gypsy Rose Euchre, Gypsy Rose Anderson, whatever the heck her name is, in a long time. And I have been watching The Life After Lockup. I don't know that I've seen every episode, but I've seen probably the majority of them. I don't watch them on Lifetime, I watch them through a third party. And it was no great shakes. Like, I couldn't even believe the finale was the finale. Okay, so it really was no great shakes. Um, but what's happened afterward and what's happened kind of during it, if you haven't been keeping up with Gypsy, there was some text messages that she leaked about Ryan Anderson, addiction, and just personal stuff she shouldn't have brought out about him. And then she issued this apology. And this apology is what, well, he starts his TikTok live that was on yesterday. He announced that he was going to go live, I think, the day before. And he said there were things he had to address. And it was like about her and the stuff she put out there, and that he said he's not going to stoop to her level. And ruin her life the way she's ruined his. And, but there were things he had to clear up, he said. And he talked about the apology. And he said, first of all, if that apology was for me, she would have called me. She wouldn't have gone on TikTok, Instagram, or wherever she put that apology and leave it, She would have called him. So he's like, that was just a bunch of BS. And he said, some of the stuff in there, yes, some of the stuff touched him and it just made his mother cry, he said. And, but he said that, it wasn't for him. And then he wanted to clear up, I guess there's rumors that because her mother kept her a child or something, that maybe he was liking children or whatever. So he goes to pull out these pictures and he's like, I didn't think Gypsy was attractive when her mother had her and what her mother did to her. I didn't think she was attractive at all. I never, ever thought that was attractive. And I, only wrote to her, she was an adult, and hey, these are the pictures. So he goes, digs out a picture, and it's Gypsy in that beige, it's like scrubs from the prison. And then he's got a picture of them together, and Pixie, the little dog, ends up taking the picture and shredding it on the live. And he's like, well, that's good. But then he kept calling her your mama and stuff, So he wanted to clear that up. He wanted to clear the apology up. And he was getting a lot of people giving the whatever they call them on TikTok. Those, I don't know what they're called. All those, things they can give you that equate to money. So he was, doing well there. And though now I don't see that live on his page anymore. I don't know if it got taken down or whatever. But he is also doing Cameo. If you don't know what Cameo is, it's a site where you can make videos for somebody. It's usually someone that's some type of a public figure. They don't have to be a big giant celebrity, but and they'll make a video for you or something. So he's been doing that. Supposedly he's doing pretty well on that. So also teaching still. And he talked about the part in Life After Lockup where they did a paternity test for Ken, so prior, also teaching right? Still. Hold on a minute, I just got it. They did a paternity test for him. Hi, Jody. Hi, everybody. Let me just say hi to everybody who's here. Thank you for coming in. Gail, Bucky, Jody, video reel, Murder of Crows. Hi, everybody. So here's what happened. Gypsy before the baby was born, did a paternity test. But then Ryan said that his lawyer said, hey, you can't go by that. So in the Life After Lockups, you saw that Gypsy, wanted to meet with Ryan. And that's what he hinted at when he was doing his TikTok live. He was hinting at that Gypsy was contacting him, and he was giving some digs to Ken. Now, there's a part of Life After Lockup where Gypsy wants to bring Aurora to go meet with Ryan, and Ken is so opposed to it and says, like, no. Now, Ryan's saying that, well, why is he really saying no? Because my kid, that baby at the time has the last name Anderson, and we don't know 100% the baby is not his. And so Ken really had no right to do that, he said. And then Ken says something in there like, I'll catch a charge for my kid. So they asked like Ryan about that. And he's like, I'm not going to go look for him, but if you're going to come here, you're going to come do something to me, get ready, because I'll come back at you, said that kind of thing. Can't remember exactly what he said, but that's what it is, that he's not going to go look for Ken and start in trouble, but if Ken comes to him, he's going to take care of it, right? Okay, so then there's something like at the very end, and I didn't watch Twilight, but she makes a reference to Twilight, I guess, when she says, well, I'm Switzerland. Like she's playing, she's a manipulator. She's a class A manipulator, and she loves to play with people and their emotions constantly. So we all knew she was going to do this, that when she's with Ken, she's like, oh, come on, trying to get back with Ryan, or texting him, or trying to make him jealous, and the same kind of stuff. So she's like, I'm just going to be Switzerland. And meanwhile, Ryan's saying that she was sending him baby pictures and she was texting him and all this stuff, okay? So, yeah, she's a true manipulator. She wants to, play people's emotions, and that's what she does. So Ken apparently got so angry about this whole thing and said she's not taking Aurora, that she didn't go to take Aurora. And I think he said he would take Aurora away from her, get custody and take her away. And that was like their finale episode. But, they had made up by then. They were putting something together or whatever it was. And that's when she gave the Switzerland comment. But now Life After Lockup is over. Life After Lockup season 2. And what did Gypsy say? She isn't going to be a mommy vlogger, this and that. Well, now she started a YouTube channel. And it's Gypsy and Ken, Magic in the Chaos. She's got about 24,000 subscribers. And she's got about 21 videos, I think, maybe 22. One of them is, as you see there, she gives herself this dye job, and she goes to the store and she buys all of these chemical products to give herself this dye job. And from what you can see, it's just a nightmare. And she probably destroyed her hair, and yikes. Another video, it's like a lazy Sunday at home, and she's assembling one of those jumperoo kind of things. Instead of a walker, it's a stationary thing, and the kid jumps in it. She got one of those Disney baby one, and she was assembling it, talking. Another one, you see her grab a cup of coffee and go out on their screened-in porch. You see the dog. You see her come back in, talk in the kitchen with Ken. And so she's gone on to be like this now family vlogger. Though, like in the Easter one, she doesn't show Aurora's face, but she shows them going to visit the Easter Bunny, what she's wearing in the car. Ken's driving, she's in the back seat. Another video, she explains why all the signs around her house. So people have been noticing signs around the house. I'm wondering, are they for, they're like about simple things about childcare. People are wondering, like, were they for Gypsy? Does she not know how to change her child? Now, this child is now, going on 6 months old? She's going on 6 months old. And Gypsy's like, oh, here's why there's so many signs in our house, okay? Because, like, I'm the primary care parent. Aurora's with me 24/7. Ken's never been the primary care parent, because that's all going to change very soon, because when her parole ends in June, she should be able to live with Ken. They'll probably get married and live together. They're right? I think they did. Didn't they already get married by a justice of the peace? She'll be able to live with him, which is coming right up. And then they'll be able to travel together and, okay, yeah. So anyway, she was trying to explain these signs because people have been talking about them. So, hi, Jeanette. She says that they're for Ken. And she's talking about changings. Now, let me tell you something. Your kid's 6 months old, Gypsy. You don't have to keep track of changings unless you're having a problem changing your baby on a regular basis, okay? Wet diapers and stuff like that is something people do in the early days if they're nursing to make sure the baby's getting enough milk or something. When your baby's 6 months, you're not really counting the changings unless something's really wrong, and then you would know. But by then you're in a rhythm. You should know when to change your baby. That's a little weird. I don't care if he's the 24/7 parent or not. That's weird that you're talking about keeping track of changings when your baby's 6 months old. That's weird, girl. Okay, so she's saying, oh, that's what that's for. And then she puts on a whiteboard, take out the trash, because Ken can't remember to take out the trash on Monday and Thursday. So she wrote down on a whiteboard, take out the trash. And then this other board that she's keeping track of these changing and feeding. She got it at Amazon. She tells everybody, got it at Amazon. And she has to explain that. So let's see what else is going on over here. Let me go and okay, so her video 7 hours ago was my DIY bleach and tone. And she goes into buy these hair products and goes on, like I said, and you're going to see what happened. It's not pretty. First Easter as a family. That was one on April 17th when Ken and her were going with Aurora to go see the Easter Bunny, and she shows like the child's dress without showing the face. She's wearing a pink little dress, and and what's her name? Gypsy is wearing a white dress with little pretty pink flowers on it, and she's mugging for the camera, and they're all in their Sunday best, family's first Easter, and they can't wait to see how Aurora does with the reacts to being on the Easter Bunny's lap. So, and they talk about, did you take Easter Bunny pictures when you were little? Did you? And they show a picture of her and Ken. They cover the baby's face, only show the baby's body. They're like in front of an Easter Bunny on like the gate, the line to see the the Easter Bunny. Yeah, very strange. It's a very short video. It's only like 49 seconds. Her videos are not that long. The one about signs is like 3 minutes, 39 seconds. Now, of course, everybody's reacting to every single video. Now they're making another channel. They're showing that, so if she thought like she wasn't going to be in the spotlight, or that she'd be just accepted, just becoming a family influencer, whatever, mommy vlogger, whatever the heck she thinks she is, she's spending a heck of a lot of time at Ken's house, and I thought she was only able to spend 2 days a week there, but she is building that jumperoo for her baby, and she's sitting there, and he's not even helping her from what I can see in the video that I watched. Let's see here, what else she has on there. I want to see something here. Okay, so I'll tell you what she has here. She has my DIY bleach and tone. That video has 7.4K views, 29K views on the lazy Sunday morning with us when she's putting together the bouncer thing. Then she goes back, flips it back to that trip to San Francisco. Believe she was still pregnant at the time. First Easter as a family. One of her favorite recipes. What's with the signs. And then she has 2024 Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Studios Hollywood. She has our Magical Day at Hogwarts, Universal Studios Hollywood. The 2024 Blanchard Family Reunion, and this is all back when she was pregnant. Product review on some popular baby products. Wonderful 3D ultrasound experience. Self-care postpartum. And the all too well-known no recognition night shift. Okay. Bassinet training Aurora. And bassinet training a newborn. Okay, so let's see. Now, her post 2 days ago, it says, continue the journey with us. We're navigating the beautiful chaos of parenthood while balancing the unique challenges of living in the spotlight, all while trying to keep life as normal as possible in a not so normal world. Through our YouTube vlog, we'll be sharing raw, real, and honest moments as parents, the highs, the lows, and everything in between. Join us for an inside look at our lives, the love we have for our family, and the lessons we're learning along the way. Hit the subscribe button and follow our journey. Hashtag family vlog. Hashtag Parenthood Unfiltered. Hashtag Life in the Spotlight. Hashtag YouTube Journey. Okay, Gypsy. So let's see here now. There's a post that she made because apparently her TikTok, something happened to it. It was taken down or something. And she wrote this, let's clear this up. Some of y'all keep asking why certain videos of mine get removed. So here it is. It's not because I'm out here breaking guidelines. It's because trolls keep falsely reporting my content. Literally, even simple shopping hauls. They can't stand to see someone living life and minding their business, so they mass report, and TikTok system doesn't always catch that it's targeted harassment. TikTok can be super sensitive, and a lot of the times reports don't get reviewed as carefully as they should. That's why I'm also posting on platforms that actually take the time to tell the difference between bullying and trolling and real violations. And no, before anyone runs with it, this is not because I'm a felon or got kicked off TikTok. I'm still in the TikTok Creator Rewards program. I was able to rejoin 30 days after being removed, and I got approved again. So let's not twist the story. I'm just out here doing me. If that bothers people, then that's a them problem. Okay. So let's see. So she's going to be trying Color Fix to fix her hair. Color Fix hair color remover. She's hashtagging everything. So yeah, and the hairdresser reacted on it and said it was like horrendous what she did to her hair. So there is a video out there. I think the guy's name is Brad Mondo. He reacts to the worst bleach fail ever, he says. Yeah. And what else do we have? She's just got like all of these products. It's crazy what she's doing to her hair. And I'm wondering why. What's the, well, is she trying to make some content, or like what's the reason she is even doing that to her hair? And meanwhile, that Bree friend of hers, apparently she's been going live for hours and hours and hours. But yeah, they're both. I mean, now she's, if she thinks like, oh gosh, now everything she's doing is going to be super analyzed. You know how social media is, so she can't do that, right? And say, that she doesn't want to be in the spotlight, because she's putting herself right out there in the spotlight. And it's just crazy. And, I heard this woman last night. She happens to be a woman that sells on YouTube, on whatnot and stuff like that. But she didn't know about, they came around to Gypsy Rose, and she goes, oh yeah, well, that guy Nick, she blames the parents that they weren't watching him because they didn't know that he was escalating. He should have never gone to visit her house, or this and that and the other thing. And she goes, and Gypsy didn't even know that Nick was murdering her mom. She was in the other room. There's still so many people that don't even know what really happened. This woman is telling like people all over that Gypsy didn't know he was murdering her mom. Oh my gosh, it's so crazy. It's just nuts. Okay, and apparently like people are going nuts saying she's not wearing a seatbelt. There's like another thing when in her apology she mentions that her parents almost divorced, and that Christy didn't answer the phone for, I think it was 3 weeks, and Ryan was there. She mentions that, so that they had issues in the marriage, etc. What else is Gypsy doing here? People don't know why. They're like, why is she not going to the salon? They're also saying, how come she only has 24,000 subs? She has 1 million on Instagram. Hair turned out terrible, and she ignored Ken when he knocked on the door, letting her know he wanted to take a shower. Oh, the signs, to be on the same page with everything. She loves signs. And, Ken needs to know all this stuff, all right? He won't know how many ounces Aurora's drinking in a bottle or whatnot. It's super helpful to be on the same page. It's just informative, she says, and it's in case we have somebody watch her that doesn't know, like Christy or my dad. So that's what all the signs are for. And she's laughing, and she just keeps. It sounds like a bunch of BS. Okay. Let's see what else she said. See, and they're going through everything. They're saying, everything. Gypsy's unsafe crib use. They're going to be calling CPS on her so much, and some people are going to do it just to be a nuisance, and that's really wrong because it takes CPS away from other kids that need it. But that it's going to happen, right? You know it. 100%. Okay, so here's some stuff from okay. See what else is going on. Baby not being strapped into the car seat, they're saying. So yeah, people are saying they're not going to stop. They're going to keep reporting, yada, yada, yada. Let's see here. People are... What is the... Okay, so then Ken posted something about someone saying that he was making signs, some kinds of signs, and he said, this is what, and Ken posted that and said, this is what happens when the snark brain rot reaches terminal levels. This is the kind of nonsense your mind comes up with. This guy has proven himself to be a complete idiot time and time again, but this is a new low. It's truly sad what happens to people who drown themselves. Okay, so when Gypsy was doing the walker, she was looking at it, she got frustrated, cuts the camera, records again after it's built, like 90% of it. So the people are assuming that she went and had Ken do it and then started the camera up again. She did get her driver's license. That was one of the things that happened in the life after lockup. She went and got her driver's license, and she even took some driving lessons with this older woman that seemed enamored by Gypsy like crazy. see here. So, like I said, Ryan's got a new YouTube channel. She's got a new YouTube channel. Then she has a lazy Sunday again with us that starts with coffee, her going out on the screened-in porch. Then going back in the house, talking to Ken, assembling the jumper thing for Aurora, but then getting frustrated, walking away, and then the camera back on when it's just about 90% put back together, and then she's in front of it. So, yeah. Ken was trying to cook at the time. Interesting, just very interesting. All right, let's see what you guys have to say about any of this that's going on. If you're following it, if any of you watched Life After Lockup, if you watched it with a third party. Jeanette says, no matter if you hate Gypsy, it will affect the baby too. Jeanette's, let's see what you guys are saying. Jeanette says, yes, or murder of crows, me too. I do hope that baby is okay. The baby must not suffer. Murder of Crows said, I have no interest in Gypsy Rose. She's an attention seeker. I do hope the baby is well cared for. Hi, 61. How are you? She's such a gump. Jeanette, yes, my concerns are for the baby. Of course, Jeanette, nobody wants anything to happen to the baby. The only thing that's going to affect the baby is her overly annoying mother. LOL, says hi, 61. You watch it? You watch it, Bucky Ann? Do you watch it on a third party? What do you watch? Do you watch her new YouTube channel too? Have you watched her new YouTube channel? Or just the Life After Lockup? I didn't think it was much of a second season, and I didn't even realize that was the last episode. It didn't seem like is there going to be a third season? Because I thought it was just supposed to be a second season, so it definitely didn't seem like a series finale, and it certainly didn't seem like even a season finale. Oh, you're watching it on Lifetime? Oh, you should watch it on third party. Anyway, you do what you want. What did you finish the whole second season? Really wasn't much of a season. We knew almost everything. You didn't know it was the finale? I know, it didn't seem like it. Didn't seem like it for sure. Always quite very strange, right? All right, I'm going to take a look right now what's going on with Diddy in court. Okay, we had Mia on the stand again for another day, right? Let's move it back to Diddy. Come on, Diddy. Okay, let's see. Get back to the start of the trial. Mia walked into the courtroom today. She avoided eye contact as she passed Sean Combs. She took the stand. And the U.S. Attorney Madison Smicer said, you talked about how the highs were really high and the lows were very low. She said she woke up to 48 missed calls and messages despite the large time zone difference with Sean Combs. She testified she was afraid to speak with her boss because in some of the messages he was threatening her job and he threatened to kill her. In dozens of messages, she testified that Sean ordered her to return to the United States immediately and threatened to tell Cassie Ventura about their intimate encounters. Mia previously testified that Sean arred her and repeatedly assaulted her, and now she said he was threatening to frame it as consensual and out her to Cassie. He said, if you don't call me now, F it all, and I'm going to tell everything, and don't ever speak to me again. You have 2 minutes. F her. He wrote to Mia on October 31st, 2015, in a WhatsApp message that Mia read aloud, which was shown to the jury. She said that Sean Combs also threatened to kill a TV show deal that he and Mia had reached with ABC about an assistant working for a prominent figure like him, but that show never aired. While he was barraging his assistant Mia with threatening messages during the film shoot in South Africa, she testified a coworker asked her how the trip was going. She said, it's okay, I'm still pretty mentally sore, and I have been having extremely horrible night terrors and anxiety so bad I can't breathe. But other than that, it's great. You? Let's see here. Mia texted one of Combs' managers after she purchased the wrong workout gear for her boss. LOL, the manager responded. Mia said she was suspended without pay for the incident. He just went bats crazy on me because he didn't see all of his workout options folded, organized. She wrote that in a message to one of Sean's bodyguards in 2011. She recounted as she testified about being harangued and punished for trivial mistakes. He began cursing me out and getting angrier and angrier and going on a rant about the lack of options and how he hated certain things. She said that Sean told her she was fired over the clothing mishap, but ultimately suspended her without pay. She said previously that Sean had extreme mood swings, and he repeatedly essayed her, often while she froze in fear of him. She said that he became irate with her after she took too long to count his money on a chartered yacht off of St. Bartholomew on New Year's Eve of 2010. She testified that she tried to flee. She got crew members to take her to the shore, but Sean's staff had her passport, so she was forced to return to the yacht. He told her, you better learn to walk on water like Jesus. Mia said Sean then told her they are going to Las Vegas, just the two of them, and she would be fired if she did not comply. She said she was just overwhelmed with fear that she would be in huge trouble. I would definitely be fired, and I didn't have a way out of it. He would have destroyed my reputation. Yeah, I was scared of him. When she finally quit her job as Sean Combs' assistant in 2017, she was told by executives at the company to retain an attorney to negotiate back wages, bonuses, and severance. But she testified this enraged Sean Combs. Puff said he couldn't believe I essentially stabbed him in the back because I had a lawyer. She said her attorney advised her to file for a settlement given the extent of the abuse she experienced under Sean Combs. Mia said she split a $400,000 settlement from Sean Combs with her lawyers. She said she kept a bit more than half of a $400,000 settlement he paid her after she quit with her lawyers, taking the rest. After it asked if she would give it back to erase the abuse, she said, absolutely, in a second. Then she testified. After that, Cassie Ventura filed that bombshell lawsuit against Sean Combs. His bodyguard texted her and asked her to issue a statement to support Sean Combs. She said, I threw my phone as far as it would go, and it went behind the couch, and I ran outside. It was so triggering. She said she dodged calls and texts from him and the bodyguard for months, making up excuses like scuba diving for not yet having announced her support for a man that abused her. I pretended like, yeah, of course, I will, no problem, because I was already terrified of him. A text message he sent to Mia last year while his reputation was crumbling in the face of the public SA accusations was markedly different in tone from the abusive way he treated her when she worked for him. He texted her in February of last year that he did not want to be blowing up your phone. She previously testified that he once left her 48 irate messages and missed calls in one night. He said, and I quote, "You were my right hand for years, so I just need to speak to you to remember who was even around me, and it would be good to hear your voice. But if you don't want to, all good. Just let me know. Love." He signed off with emojis, a heart, and praying hands. The message came as one of Sean Combs' former security guards, D-Rock, was pressuring Mia to publicly support Sean Combs as he faced SA lawsuits and a federal crime investigation. I wanted nothing to do with him, she said. She struggled to find new work due to long-term mental health effects from her employment. Basic interactions, like responding to emails or simple questions, became increasingly difficult to handle. She testified in a sometimes shaky voice with deep breaths as she spoke, saying, I would be triggered by really normal situations. If someone said my name from across the room, all those feelings of getting in trouble would come flooding back, and I triple-guessed myself in everything I did. Let's see here. Defense is cross-examining Mia with social media posts from her time working for Sean Combs that depict her enjoying events and expressing adoration for Sean Combs. These exhibits are being used to try to cast doubt on Mia's accounts of rampant abuse, sexual violence, and misery during her employment. In October of 2013, Mia posted a photo of Sean at a Starbucks with a caption reading, "Just the #1 guy on the Forbes list. Getting me a vanilla latte. No big deal." In another post, she credited Sean Combs with always letting me give birth to my dreams. That came along with a video clip of her head superimposed on a woman giving birth, with Combs' face over the delivery doctor's face. You posted a picture of Mr. Combs, the person who terrorizes you. Fair? Said the defense attorney, Brian Steele. At another point, he said, on your personal account, you posted your artist delivering a baby, right? She said, Instagram is a place to show how great your life is, even if it's not true. I didn't want my family and friends to know the misery I was in. Of course you post the great times. They asked her, why would you promote the person who has stolen your happiness in life? These included photos of Mia standing close to Sean Combs, attending Burning Man and a private event for Muhammad Ali, messages calling Combs a brother, friend, and mentor, or saying, I love you, with a heart in place of the V. Mia said that promoting was part of her job, and she had to support the things that Puff supported. Brian Steele flipped through Instagram posts for more than an hour before honing in on Mia's previous testimony, trying to contrast the evidence in front of jurors with her accounts about the horror of working for Sean Combs. His questions got increasingly more pointed as his cross-examination built, pitting Mia's jet-setting life against her claims of traumatic employment. How do you have a good moment with Sean Combs when you're terrified of him? How do you forget about being woken up with a man on top of you, having his way with you? Because it's horrible to think about, she said. You think about it all the time, you said. How are you best friends with a person who's treating you this way? I guess you'd have to speak with my therapist. Sean Diddy Combs is a horrible boss. We've heard that expressed throughout the trial. Employees were kept awake for days on end. Their movements were tracked. Allegedly, they were repeatedly assaulted verbally, physically, sexually, and yet Combs instilled a fierce loyalty in his charges, whether by fear or simply the dazzle of being close to the spotlight. The defense called Mia's somber demeanor on the stand false and tried to enter into evidence a video that shows the witness dancing and jubilant at a party. The judge asked the defense why it did not follow proper procedure when entering evidence. The defense offered a range of reasons, including that it received the video just recently from internet sleuths. The judge decided not to allow the video into evidence. Defense attorney asked her, confronted Mia with these loving images that she's posting all over social media about Sean Combs and saying things like, you are the coolest, alien rock star unicorn pizza slice, and we effing love you. He quoted one of Mia's posts from 2016. You realize all these posts so far emphasize and promote Mr. Combs. Let's see here. Raising his voice for the first time, defense attorney is driving home his line of questioning. And he says, isn't it true that Mr. Combs never had unwanted, non-consensual, forcible contact with you? Although unforgivable for any person to put their hands on a woman, especially a man, isn't it true that it did not happen as many times as you said to this jury? Prosecutors objected aggressively, and Mia has responded with a steely demeanor. Everything I've said in this courtroom is true. Ask any abuse victim's advocate, and they could tell you it, explain it much better to you than I could. The defense wrapped up its cross-examination for the day. She will return to the stand on Monday. The trial ended with text showing Mia's devastation when her employment with Sean Combs was coming to an end in December of 2016. I'm going to, what it just changes the word here, take my own life. My life is over. If her job was such an inescapable hell, defense lawyers said, why were you going to take your own life when you were severed from the company? Why wasn't that a relief? She said that she's been in Combs' circle was all she had known, 24 hours a day for 8 years. In hindsight, fantastic, she said, but at the time, the worst thing ever. Okay, and so, yeah, that's what we have there for Sean Combs. Let me see what you guys are saying. Sean Combs. I'm not sure how much of what Mia is saying I believe. If it was that horrendous, she should have just quit sooner. Simple as that. Yeah, but, you know, a lot of times they're under that spell. They're there's a lot of things. There's money, there's power, there's fear, you know, lots of stuff. I don't know. He's a devil. He's caused so much suffering, a Murder of Crow said. Fear can make people stay. This is what too much money in the wrong hands does. The monster within was released, Murder of Crow says. Okay. Let's see what else you guys... And don't forget Carla Homaka, who has related 2 minors with her husband and is free and has her own children now. I wonder if J-Lo is going to be called to testify, because when he was up and coming, they were an item, they were a couple, so there must have been stuff that she could maybe clarify, as in what she saw. Drugs and blackmail, High says. Yeah, all of the above, right? Okay, now let's just take a quick look at... All right, so we have... Get out of here. Get out of here. Get out of here. Karen Reed now. Karen Reed. Okay, as in any case, when they get to this point, the defense asks the court to dismiss the case, drop the case, prosecution, didn't prove their case, yada, yada, yada. It always happens during a trial, always happens. And the judge, of course, denies the defense's motion to dismiss the charges. Disagra. 1 second here, because prosecution pushed back against the dismissal, saying they presented evidence showing Reed was intoxicated beyond the legal limit and of a collision at 34 Fairview Road where O'Keefe's body was found. They pointed to voicemails Reed left O'Keefe in the hours before his body was found, and her statement said, and her statements that she could have clipped him. Defense calls a reconstruction witness. They began their questioning with Dee Sagra, an engineer at the motor vehicle accident reconstruction firm Delta 5, about his review work completed by Burgess, a digital forensics expert who sought to reconcile discrepancies between data found in Karen Reed's SUV and O'Keefe's iPhone for the prosecution. Using clock records from both sources, Burgess created a timeline for the night O'Keefe died and potentially tied it to Karen Reed. His analysis suggested that O'Keefe's phone was locked for the last time during the seconds-long period when Karen Reed's car recorded a backup maneuver. But DeSagra told jurors that phone and vehicle clocks are not likely to align well. DeSagra also said that his independent analysis showed the last lock event on O'Keefe's phone occurring after Karen Reed's car backed up. He said he was asked by Karen Reed's defense attorney whether her Lexus SUV had recorded similar events to a backup maneuver and a three-point turn it recorded on January 29th. DeSagra said 19 similar events occurred before that day. None of those events were triggered by a collision. Data from the January events also did not indicate they were caused by a collision, he said. His testimony could potentially undermine Shannon Burgess's findings, which played a critical role in outlining a timeline of events prosecutors say led up to O'Keefe's death. Upon cross-examination, DeSagra clarifies that he is not saying whether Karen Reed's SUV got into a collision or not on January 29th, 2022, but rather that none of the recorded events were triggered by a collision. The prosecution's accident reconstruction expert, Judson Welcher, previously testified that a 30% throttle would have been required for her Lexus to register the event. The prosecution then launched into a series of questions about DeSagra's background, pointing out that he never received training or analyzing mobile phones or the variances between phone data and car entertainment system data. Questions were an attempt, it seems, to discredit DeSagra's earlier statement about the alignment of clock data. The prosecution questioned whether DeSagra made mistakes while interpreting Burgess's data that could render his testimony at least partially moot. Brennan zeroed in on the timing of the phone calls recorded in the entertainment system of Karen Reed's SUV compared to the call history on the phones. He appeared to suggest that if some of the calls happened while the car was turned off, DeSagra's assumptions about the data would be inaccurate. The exchange showcases how each side comes down to the analysis of a few critical seconds on a snowy night 3 years ago. The timing of the clocks is key in establishing what O'Keefe was doing and where Karen Reed's SUV was in the last moments he was believed to be conscious. Alan Jackson, one of Reed's defense attorneys, asked DeSagra a slew of questions about his truthfulness in what appeared to be an attempt to reestablish trust in his testimony. Jackson probed DeSagra about whether his analysis would have changed if he had more data than what Aperture provided, including data showing that O'Keefe took several steps after the last recorded event on Karen Reed's Lexus. DeSogra said the data would have influenced his findings. Jackson then suggested that if any of Burgess's data was wrong, DeSogra would also be wrong. Garbage in, garbage out. To which DeSogra expressed agreement. DeSogra finished his testimony and the judge dismissed the jury. And then after dismissing the jury, the judge asked Boston police officer Kelly Dever to return to the court on Monday to testify. Dever was in the courtroom Friday but did not have a chance to take the stand. The defense then questioned Jonathan Diamandis, a longtime friend of the Massachusetts State Trooper Michael Proctor, about a text message chain he had with Proctor, the former investigator on the O'Keefe case. Defense attorney David Yannetti urged the judge to allow Diamandis to testify about the text messages, which he alleged included derogatory comments about Karen Reed pertinent to the trial. In one message, Yannetti claimed Proctor wrote, "She's effed," in reference to Karen Reed. Proctor is believed to have been a critical part of the defense's case. They've long argued that he mishandled the investigation into John O'Keefe's death. In the rebuttal, prosecutor Hank Brennan said it would be more proper for the defense to call Proctor to the stand to testify about how the text messages affected the investigation. The judge said she would make a ruling on Monday morning. Okay, and then let's see. So she'll make her decision on Monday morning. Interesting, right? What do you guys think about Karen Reed? Is she guilty or not? What do you think? Guilty or not? Anybody? Is anybody following this? And do you have a thought? I think it was accidental. I don't think she intentionally hit him, Hartmay Weiss said. All right. That's what you said. Okay. 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 Let's do the word cookies because then I got to go to bed. Tomorrow we have an auction. I have to get out and get some stuff done. And I have to get some sleep. You think she will be found guilty? I don't know. I don't know. We'll see, I guess. Savor. Okay, very good. Savior. How about? What's going on with this? So, there's no oh yeah, there is. Okay, I thought there was no 3-letter words. I don't know why I thought that. That's crazy. Sour I already have. Very good. High 61. Or, yeah, and ors. Right. Very good. Now we've got one more. I already have sir. Hi, Pencilla. How are you? How are you? Ova. Ova. Yes, very good. Thank you. Oh, we did it. We did it, we did it, we did it. C. Okay. Pencilla. F-I-C-H-E. Good, hi. Very good, hi. Very good. Okay. Crazy that that took the it. Hmm. Go with the germs. Come on. What do we got? Smear? Yes, Pencilla. Very good. Very good. Very good. Communal. Okay, very good. Uh-oh. Hold on, I can't even get this to work right. Hold on. Hold on. There's no S. There's no S high. I did it. Gosh, it won't work. All right, I'm going to go to bed. I think, guys, I'm really tired. So thank you for staying with me tonight. Thank you for watching. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. If you're not a member, being a member is a great way to support the channel. It's really helpful. Appreciate it very much. And have a great night, everybody. And I'll see you tomorrow. Love you. God bless. Let me just figure out how to get out of here. Jane, stop this crazy thing. Okay.